Good morning, everyone. 7:43. Welcome back. It's a great day, and welcome back, Brent and Roske, as we are talking politics. Now we just talked Democratic a little bit. Now I need to shift gears.
So we just had Dr. Amy McGuire. She's the chair of the Iowa Democrat Party. Obviously, a huge event for them Friday night, the Hall of Fame dinner. The next day in Ames was the GOP. It was called the Family Leadership Summit. Many different candidates, more of the conservative wing of the candidates on the GOP side got together. Now, real quick before we go into the big hubbub of what happened, the formats were completely different. So Friday night, the Democrat event was in Cedar Rapids, and that was all 5 candidates, all Democrat candidates, gave 15-minute speeches. Applause, standing ovations, very positive sort of thing. Saturday was a much more gutsy approach by the GOP, I must say. Frank Lutz, who has been on my program, Roske in Politics, moderated conversations with these candidates. And I really got the sense, because they put the press right up front, I really did get the sense that this was extemporaneous, that they didn't know what the topics would be. They had an idea based on national news. But he was going in areas that people weren't necessarily expecting. I think that format difference is why the Trump thing happened. And if you don't know what the Trump thing is, Rachel, let's run Trump's comments on Senator John McCain.
John McCain, a war hero, 5.5 years as a POW, and you call him a dummy. Is that appropriate in running for president?
Okay, you got to let me speak, though, Frank, because you interrupt all the time, okay? He hit me.
Hero.
He's not a war hero.
He's a war hero.
He's a war hero.
5.5 years.
He's a war hero because he was captured. I like people that weren't captured, okay? I hate to tell you.
Do you agree with that?
He's a war hero because he was captured, okay? You can have, and I believe perhaps he's a war hero, but right now he said some very bad things about a lot of people. A beautiful day with incredible people that were wonderful, great Americans, I will tell you. John McCain goes, oh boy, Trump makes my life difficult. He had 15,000 crazies show up, crazies. He called them all crazy. I said, they weren't crazy. They were great Americans. These people, if you would have seen these people, I know what crazy is. I know all about crazies. These weren't crazy.
Yeah, he sees it every day.
So, okay, it happened. It was early in the day there. And again, it's just a conversation. It's one of those things that kind of came and went. It's the Trump style of extemporaneous speaking.
This is what he's thriving on right now.
But in print, boy, does that not, he's not a war hero. He was just captured. So I was curious, how is this going to play out? Will it be a thing? So front page of the paper the next day, Trump firestorm could shift race. So I'm thinking, okay, that's Des Moines, fine. Maybe it's just going to be isolated here. We talk about Politico's playbook a lot on this show because they aggregate all the leading stories. The Politico playbook of that day was 90% fallout from this statement. Literally nationwide news, international news. Almost every other candidate spoke out against what he had to say. And then people like Secretary John Kerry said, if anyone doesn't know that John McCain is a war hero, it only proves they know nothing about war and even less about heroism. Hillary Clinton called the insults directed at the genuine war hero, John McCain, called them shameful. During the same event, Governor Rick Perry and Senator Lindsey Graham made a point of speaking about it. Other candidates did too, but I grabbed this footage before coming over here this morning. This is Governor Rick Perry and Senator Lindsey Graham speaking about Trump's comments.
But driving back in here, I heard something that was as disturbing to me as I've heard in this entire process of running for the presidency of the United States. And there was an individual who stood or sat upon this stage earlier today who doesn't understand or doesn't care about people who serve this country. To disparage a legitimate American hero like John McCain, you may disagree with his policies, and that's fine. I tell people all the time, it's okay to question your government. But don't question the men and women of the military who sacrifice and sometimes pay a huge price for our safety and our freedom and our economics. As an individual who has worn the uniform of this country, I was highly offended what Donald Trump said about John McCain and his years of sacrifice in a dirty, dingy, terrible prison in North Vietnam. Donald Trump owes every American veteran, and in particular John McCain, an apology.
If you really want to be commander-in-chief, and you're serious about that job, the last thing you would ever do is say anything that would show disrespect for anybody you serve. I just retired from the Air Force after 30 years, and let me tell you who I think is an American hero. The family who stays behind. I've been a military lawyer in a unit that was deployed in the first Gulf War. I know exactly what the families go through. When the phone rings at night, you jump out of your skin. When some car comes up the driveway you don't expect, your heart skips a beat. John McCain and every other POW deserves our respect and our admiration.
If he does not apologize to Senator McCain, does that disqualify, in your mind, Donald Trump from being candidate?
So what he just says in a second here, Senator Graham says what I think the American people might say is Donald Trump, you're fired. I wanted to do a couple other clips before we have to go here. Governor Jindal got the loudest response of the day with this clip when talked about the press, which were sitting up front.
You're critical of the press. They're sitting right in front of you. He's right there.
New York Times or Washington Post? Which one?
What are you? I'm not choosing.
I'm not critical.
I believe in your right to choose. What are you critical of?
Well, I'm critical when the mainstream media, when they don't apply the same standards to this president that they apply to the rest of us.
So they literally wouldn't stop applauding. Everyone jumped to their feet because the press was in front of them, so they were making a pretty loud statement there. There were a lot of applause lines, but I wanted to point that out. That was the loudest of the day. And then finally, Lindsey Graham here was asked what his parents would think if they were alive to see him. If you don't know, when he was a lot younger, still a teenager, both of his parents were killed. I'm sorry, they passed away young. He ended up having to take care of his daughter, Darlene, and here's his response.
They would see that their son was a United States Senator and a candidate for President of the United States. What would you tell them?
That Darlene turned out really good. I've tried hard. And thanks to you, I've come a long way.
You know they can hear you.
Love is not the size of the house and what happens inside the house. I was well loved. To all those kids who are not well loved, I feel so sorry for you. This is a family leadership council. We're all one car wreck away from needing somebody's help. I'm a proud Republican, but there's a time and a place for the government.
So obviously a very touching moment with Senator Graham, but we're all one car wreck away from needing public help, government help. Was a very profound moment. So happy to be at both events this weekend. Thank you folks as always for having me on.
Good. You got both sides, both things taken care of.
We try.
Perfect job, man. Well done.